Hello everyone and welcome to the Deepbluerenegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deepbluerenegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 89. Today is Sunday, May 31st, 2015, and I'm glad you could join me. Yay! I have quite a few finished objects to show you guys this week, so I was looking at my previous podcast pictures, and I don't know whether or not I showed you the, the hold-in shell after it had been blocked. So, or wait, I did finish that Friday. Did I block it on Saturday, or did I block it another day? Oh, I'll show you guys it anyway, because I did block it, and I did wear it, so we'll see whether or not it seems massively big or pretty much the same. But it did block out very lovely. Be the case where it's actually my full wingspan, which I feel is like the perfect size for a shawlette. And then can wear it tied up like this, and it looks very nice. But I think can I wear it other ways too? I don't know, I might be too close to the camera today. So I can drape over my shoulders like this, and there's still enough left to tie behind my back, so it's a really lovely length. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's like really, really wonderful and soft, so I'm hoping to get some good mileage out of this shawl. So there we go. The finishing has been complete. One thing I didn't end up bringing down, which I did end up finishing, was the camel silk. So that ended up getting a bath this week as well. So that seems to be lovely as well. Now, finished object number 2 was, a barley hat. So I decided to participate in the charity cal. So I had looked at this pattern probably March of 2013, because I was teaching a friend how to knit, or maybe it was March of 2014, I'm not sure, but it was a while ago. So I made it in a pretty gender-neutral color with a gender-neutral pattern. I have this great big garter section here, and since it was a free pattern, whatever, it was just something to make it more interesting. I have no clue what the yarn is. I did weigh the leftovers, and so this ended up being, 158 yards. So I'll have to update my stash totals later with all of that. But it was very easy knit, and I'm probably going to crank out a few more before, mid-July happens, because it's a good way to use the acrylic in my stash, which I never ever use. So, works out. So, barley hat, probably-ish. Now, the last thing I want to show you was a little bit of a tragedy. So I decided Thursday at 1 p.m. that I did actually want to participate in the SSK knit-along. And right before I podcast, I finished it, and because the pattern was in my queue, my yarn was in the stash, but the deadline for the cal was yesterday at 11. Not today. So I was knitting away all day today to finish my pair of Down the Rabbit Hole socks. So this was a pattern by Pearlescent, and the yarn is Stacy of Mustache. So this is the Martian Rainbow colorway I picked up in DFW Fiberfest, and I got the matchy skeins. So, it is this traveling cable stitch pattern, which makes it a little bit more entertaining to knit stripy socks. So. I pulled from the other end of the ball to do the heel. And a pro tip, if you are planning to do that sort of thing with self-striping yarn, wait until the end of the stripe. So sock 1 has 1 purple stripe right at the gusset, and then sock number 2 has 2 purple rows. And what else? So I busted my ass to knit these socks, and then found out I was like 18 hours late. Oh my goodness. So if you haven't seen me on Ravelry, but you have been seeing me on Instagram, that is why. So the socks fit great. I'll probably wear them tomorrow. Just because. What is it? I'll probably get some beauty shots on the sock blockers as well, because it does look very nice. And what is it? The only other mod I did was, instead of doing 10 rows of twisted rib, I did 2 inches of twisted rib, so it's just the case where I like the way that works a lot better. So, there we go. Down the rabbit hole sock. So it had been in my queue forever, the yarn was lovely. So I'm not sure how much luck I'm gonna be at getting SSK raffle tickets. Oh well. It probably would have been easier if I had started these when I found out I got into SSK on the 22nd instead of the 28th. So that is the story there. Oh, and what is it? And then I have 2 very matchy balls left. So they have pretty much more. They have a little bit more than 1 color repeat a piece. So I'm not sure what these are going to become, or if they're just going to hang out in my stash for a while. But I did wind them up so that I can put them with the rest of my sock scraps. Or maybe it turns out like I can make really cute, what is it, like rainbow baby hats or something out of them, because they're just so freaking cheerful. Because, like, what is it? The colorway is Martian Rainbow number 7, and it is vivid. Vivid. So, in terms of work in progress, what is it? So, what is it? The rainbow socks, they were like a sneak attack. They became a whip and became an FO before I even got to talk to you guys. So I am still working on the colorwork socks. I haven't finished them yet. So 3 FOs for a week for me, that's pretty insane. So here's the sock number 1. So there we go, sock number 1. The reason why sock number 2 has not been getting nearly as much love is because it is, oh, what is it? Here, actually, let me take that ball of yarn out. Oh wait, it's pierced. Okay. So, let's sort of detangle this all. So I've finished the heel turn, but I haven't picked up the stitches yet on sock number 2. So I will be probably putting away my size 1.5 needles and transitioning to purely the size 1s fairly soon. I'll probably pick up, what is it, the gusset stitches tonight, because this one deserves some love, more than likely. Since I did sort of stall out on it, I decided to knit in an entirely different pair of socks. But it is coming along. It is, the only thing that's got me a little bit worried is that this is how much I have left of the blue, so it might turn out I need to make a red toe instead of a blue toe. But since they're going inside socks, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. I guess I'll probably end up weighing and making sure that everything's okay. But whatever. I suppose I have other Woolmisa blues as well. It's probably not the end of the world. So that is a story there. is that, well, you don't end up using a terribly huge amount of the blue for the other parts of the sock, so maybe I could switch up something in order to make it last a little longer. Oh well, I'll wait and figure out what the story is, or whether or not I end up doing like a two-color toe or something like that. Whatever, steal some from the end of this one in order to finish off the other one. We'll see. But what is it? This is Union Jack Argyle. It's from Think Outside the Socks. And this is one of my projects for the underappreciated patterns cal in the sock knitters group. So I'll actually finish a pair of socks for a sock knitters cal. The one I'm hosting. I guess that makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, so that's the story there. And then I cast on a new pair of socks. And this also counts for the underappreciated patterns cal. And this is also a part of the, the Mega Sal. So this is my Into the World Death fiber. And after it went through its bath, it was totally not crazy anymore, so that was really awesome. The outside of the cake is showing, for the most part, the Navajo ply I did with the last little bits of it, but the inside you can really see how crazy and barber pulled it all is. So far I've really been enjoying how it's knitting up. I pretty much cast this on as soon as the yarn was dry, more or less. And I'm doing a pattern called Just Ribbing, which is my normal vanilla sock pattern. And I probably account for half of the projects on that pattern. So it's the case where you do basically a 2x1 rib for basically the entire sock. I'm knitting these on my double zeros, so my 1.75mm needles. So this was what I knit my last pair of hand spun socks with, and the reason why is that I want to make sure that with socks I use, the smallest possible needle. With shawls and hand spun, I'm probably going to use the largest possible needle. It just sort of mattered because I really would like for these guys to be very hard wearing. These ones are going to be very fraternal socks as well. So I'm not too far. This was a little bit of like waiting room knitting and stuff like that. And it is nice and mindless, so that's a good thing. And I'm just starting to get into the teal, which has been fun as well. So, and it's also fun, for example, to, just knit on simple socks. The Down the Rabbit Hole socks were a bit more complicated. It wasn't very good in the dark knitting. I managed to survive doing it in the dark, but it was a little bit rocky. But I don't know. It's just nice. I don't know why I've gone so completely sock crazy. I'm not sure if I'm gonna end up because the other thing is that I do have this ball of yarn caked, which I was going to make socks with. And it's been sitting near the couch, like ready to go, and it's like, I really want these socks. So I'm probably gonna have to get the Union Jack Argyles off the needles so that I can start this other pair. But so in terms of what I really want to come next is that I have my Woolmisa twin in the Blue Suzanne colorway, which is really gorgeous. So like teals and greens and reds, and where the reds and teals meet, there's sort of this like brownish color. So very, very pretty, and I want to make a pair of jacks with these. So what is it? Pretty much as soon, and it's the case where my US 0 needles are going to be full until I finish the Union Jack Argyle socks, which means that pretty much there's no point in casting this on until those needles are clear. So I'm playing the waiting game, but I really wanted to use this yarn. It just seemed to be that things kept jumping in line a bit. So I'm really looking forward to starting this soon. And I'm thinking that's going to be a really easy pattern. It's one that's really meant for crazy pooling yarns such as this. So hopefully soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be this week, but hopefully soon. And the other thing I want to do is I dug around in my acrylic stash that never seems to go away, and I picked out another ball of yarn for hats. I think this is actually listed in my stash, so the sooner I get rid of it, the better. So this is going to be another gender neutral hat. I might try a different pattern than the barley. I'm guessing that this yarn probably isn't going to be as good on the stitch definition front as the other one was. So we'll see. But another charity hat in the works. And because it is like, what is it? I started out knitting, or when I became a much bigger knitter. I think I knit over 100 hats. So hats are, to me, like, extremely satisfying knit. But at this point, like, I have all the hats I'm ever going to need. So it's the case where, and I like hit that point way long ago. So it's the case where the only way that I can knit hats really is as charity knits or something like that. So this is all ready to go as well, because I just took all of my acrylic and just balled it up for ease of spinning, or sorry, spinning's next, but just for the ease of knitting and being able to just use it right away. So, and the Caron Simply Soft has a really lovely hand to it, so it's not going to be a chore to knit this hat at all. Because that's the only way I'm getting door prize tickets. Oh, silliness. So, what is it? I don't know if there's lace in my future. I've been a little bit sock crazy. I'm not sure when the sock craziness will end, but when it does, I'm sure it'll all be clear. I know that it would definitely be fun to do some more complicated lace knitting, and I have a couple ideas for, like, I have the idea that I want to make a shawl with yarn and another shawl with yarn in a different color in the same base, but I have no clue what pattern I want to do, and I'll probably just do them back to back in the same pattern. So it's like, So I probably need to sit down with like the yardage and then figure out what shawls are in the correct ballpark and go from there. But that is definitely something that's on my radar. So there could be a shawl bender soon. It's hard to tell. And now for spinning. So I ended up not getting a whole lot of spinning done this week, mostly just because, what is it? So, and the main reason for that was primarily that I was furiously knitting on socks that didn't make the deadline anyways. So, this is the Julie Spins in the 60/40 BFL silk. It is spinning up gorgeous. It is spinning up thin. I think this is going to hit I'm really hopeful that this is going to hit that 800 yards for 4 ounces sort of mark. And it's going to be way more. It's going to be way more than 800 yards because this is 5 ounces instead of So Julie Spins has a bigger put up, which means that there is a tremendous amount of spinning that you can do with this. So this colorway is Plum Blossom, and I'm enjoying how it's spinning up so far. It's been taking forever though, which is why I think I finally hit, or whatever, surpassed that particular threshold, because I've been putting out, what is it, my best yardage skein for 4 ounces was 680. The last skein I made of lace, what is it, and what is it, my Death Fiber was 500, but that was probably ended up being more of a fingering weight. My Camel Silk was 600 something, 620, low 600s. And I think my Lengthy Fiber Drew was also in that 600 range, so somewhere between fingering and lace. So we shall see. But what's crazy making about this was, I think on Wednesday I was like spinning away on it, and I'm like, oh, I should weigh how much fiber I have left. So I like went upstairs and I went to my scale, and I was totally thinking like, oh man, I should be more than halfway. No. I'm not halfway yet. So the bag is what is it? It was like, I guess I didn't weigh it at the beginning, but assuming I got 5 ounces, I was like at 2 3/4. So I'm really close to being halfway, but I'm not yet at halfway. So I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to be able to fit it all on a single bobbin. If I don't, I guess it's not the end of the world. I'll probably wind it all into the same plying ball anyways. But it is coming along. And it did end up taking a little bit of a break, because I was, what is it? So I was, knitting furiously away on socks during all of my waking hours. So, okay, look around. So one introspective thing for, for today is, this is actually my 2-year anniversary for podcasting. So I was thinking, because I ended up starting Memorial Day weekend 2013, and because Memorial Day weekend was so freaking early this year, and actually Labor Day is going to be really freaking late, so this is like the most ridiculous long summer ever. Not that it really matters, because the day job gets in the way of that. But yeah, so it is, it's a little bit crazy to think that I've been talking in front of a camera for 2 years now, and probably actually more than that, because I did podcasts with Jody for a while on the Joy and Smiles podcast as well. So I was just like, 2 years full of craziness. But so I am still having a lot of fun. So it is easy to continue. So yeah, we'll figure out what it is that I name the podcast. It'll probably just be Down the Rabbit Hole, because that was that was what happened. And if you follow me on Instagram, my Instagram name is the same. It is Deepbluerenegade. Like, you can get live pictures of what it is I'm working on when I remember that I need to take progress photos. So, and if you're a knitter, I generally follow you back. If you're not a knitter, then I look at your pictures and then figure out you're a creeper and don't. Gotta watch out for the creepers. So, so feel free to follow me, and I'm more than happy to follow you guys as well. I think that's everything. Aside from checking the computer to figure out what day I'm recording next. I believe it'll be the 7th. but we'll make sure. Yep, I'll be recording again June 7th. So it'll be really easy through the month of June to keep track of the date. It adds up nicely. So with that, I hope you guys have a great week, and take care, guys. Bye-bye.